Come on in. You want to try and balance them up here?
Sure.
No, not on the table.
Yeah.
Ted's right off the table. What do you mean?
On top of the podium.
Get him to go. There he goes.
So this is a two-wheel balancing robot.
Is that licensed?
Yeah, actually under the Creative Commons it is. So, yeah, it turns out that Google actually doesn't own the Android character. It's a Creative Commons license thing. I don't know. But anyway, we decided to put a new skin on an old robot that we already had to make him look like an Android guy. And got inspired from talking to Ryan that works here. And he was like, yeah, it'd be cool if we had some kind of Android thing. So we're in the midst of tweaking him so you can control him with an Android phone. And we have the Android app that works and everything. I just didn't have that time to get the electronics into him. So probably by RoboGames, for sure by RoboGames, we'll have the Android phone controlling him, and his head will move, and he's going to have some lights, and he'll play music and dance around. Let's see if I can get him to go here with the remote. There we go. Whee!
We're actually going to build 2 more.
Yeah.
Just this one was just kind of a quickie to put together to show Google.
Yeah.
And they had it for a week or 2 and drove it around and
Broke it.
well,
Broke it.
I wasn't going to go there.
But it's still cool. I mean, Bob did all of the kind of, it was his idea to basically get it in the shape and make it look like it did, and it came out awesome. I was totally blown away at like how good it ended up looking, and everybody who sees it is like, oh, it's so cute. It looks like, you know, the real Android guy. We got to put teeth on him though. The one in all of the commercials has teeth. He's eating apples and stuff like that. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, you can come up, you can touch him. Just don't push him too hard. There you go. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
This is tester.
A little more.
There's a little test. You can push him more than that if you want. Yeah.
Get ready to run though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, you can push him more.
Yeah. So this robot is balancing on 2 wheels. That's the hard part, and you know, the rest of it's easy in comparison. But it makes him kind of have this alive characteristic. Where when he pushes him, he pushes back.
This kid's moving forward.
Push
Yeah.
him a little harder.
Children and robots are always fun to get together. There you go.
There you go.
He's eventually gonna like punch him out. Woohoo! Ooh.
Is that your son,
Yeah.
Brian? What's his name?
Harder.
Carter.
Hi, Carter.
What do you think of him, Carter?
Can you turn on all this on?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't do anything as good as that one.
Irrelevant.
So anyway, that's
That's
the
one.
green guy.
Let's
Yeah.
go on to the next
So
one.
this one here I built for Mike and Rose, and unfortunately I just got a text message. They're not going to be here tonight, so I can't give it to them. But this is, we started this about 2 years ago, and then they got pregnant and had a kid, and we never got back to it. So this last weekend they came down. We do a big rush, and we're going to try to get something running. So this is kind of the simplest Robo Magellan you can make. It's got some basic pipe and bumper and ultrasonic camera, and Mike and Rose have a mini ITX board that's going to go in here and drive everything. Hopefully, if they can get it done in 2.5 weeks.
Nothing like a deadline. That's sort of.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I've been working on this one. This is my new Robo Magellan. I built 4 Robo Magellans, and so I took everything I've learned and put into this guy. And our first one that Ted and I did, I built him. You know, he's really cool. But he was a real hard guy to get around because he was big and he weighed 40 plus pounds. And then when we shipped him someplace like up to Seattle, he had this big box. So I decided to really take a look at this way. This guy can be broken down into about 7 different pieces. So it all comes apart really easy. There's a screw here that pops this off. The cover actually doesn't even have any screws. It's all magnetic, so it's easy to get into. The tube here, this tube comes out with just 2 screws. This comes off. This is a GPS, pops off really easy. Display back here comes off. So it all breaks down, so it's easy to ship. and get around. So it's really kind of nice.
So you're turning around.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't even see that.
Almost the tanking.
See, that's the display.
So it's got a what is called a roll board in it, which is basically a 86 base processor, 1 gigahertz with 256 mega RAM, and it'll run Windows. This is what it's currently running, but it'll also run Linux. And the nice thing about it is the board is designed for robots. So it has 32 PWMs, it's got I2C, it's got SPI, it's got I/O, it's got analog. So it really makes it nice, especially in a Linux world, to kind of get things done. So this guy's got the display for the roll board. It's got 15 ultrasonics, all kind of based all over him. So wherever he goes, he can kind of sense his area. Camera for looking at the cone, bumper. GPS and compass is in here, and this conveniently comes off because what we have to do is we use this to kind of get our waypoints. So it's the same GPS and compass than we use in a robot. So we can easily unplug it. We put this on the netbook or laptop, walk around, get all our waypoints, and then go ahead and put this guy back on, and then he runs a GPS. So we don't have a whole lot of errors, hopefully. What else did I tell you about this? The wheels, everything was totally custom made. I guess that's about it. Yeah. So
And this was just a frame at last month's meeting, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Bob, out of the blue, I didn't even see it. I was on a Skype call in this morning, and he's got it in the background. Like, notice my robot.
Don't even go there. Yeah, I haven't slept,
Yeah.
But so yeah, we'll get some software on it and see how well he runs at Robo Games. So I actually made a little personal contest between James back there. He was over about a month ago, my shop, and he had this really good base. And I said, make it perfect Robo Magellan. I said, you and I have a little contest. And I don't know, I haven't seen his yet, so we'll see. So anyway, that's it.
So we've got Camp, we've got Dave Curtis, and we've got Ralph. Who's next? Is it going to be Dave and Shiloh?
Somebody, yeah, not me.
Okay. So it looks like it's going to be Dave and Shiloh and Camp, then followed by Ralph. Okay. Looks like we have an XV11 coming. It's like herding cats.
He's supposed to be following the magnet. Well, okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to talk about my new favorite robot peripheral. A lot of you have probably seen this. It's the Wiimote. We didn't even have a Wii game system, but I heard that these guys have a Bluetooth interface now. Oh, let's check that out. So as it turns out, the Bluetooth protocol on this is a little bit funky, but it's been very well reverse engineered, and there's some open source code out there that allows you to read it, and it's got a whole bunch of interesting buttons, an accelerometer, and gyros, and LEDs, and so forth, and a vibrator. And in about one evening's worth of hacking, I was actually to the point where I could drive a robot around using this guy. So for $40, I thought, this is a really pretty cool thing. You just walk down to Fry's and get it and throw some code on it. And we can't actually drive this robot around with it tonight, but I do have a little bit of demo code that afterwards in show and tell we can do that. Look at that if you want to. And what happened? Oh, is he not working well on the carpet? So anyway, what shot?
I think it's working well on the carpet. I can't drag it.
Okay, and if we pick it up, it'll stop and I'll have to restart it. But anyway, so you know what? Why don't I help bring him over and you can start telling about the software in him, okay? Go over there, dude. You want to bring him? Okay. So I'll talk about the hardware. She can talk about the software. Last month we had it here, and it was running tethered. Had software running on the laptop, and for those of you that were here, you probably remember I was running around like this. Shiloh's dragging the robot around. Tonight the robot is autonomous, and that is we have a beagle board that is living in the dustbin, what would be the dustbin of the vacuum cleaner. That's been pulled out, so there's a beagle board and a USB hub in there. And right now there's some batteries duct taped onto the front of the robot because I haven't tapped into the power supply. But the power supply in there is pretty easy to tap into. And so the beagle board is running Linux, and there's a little Python program in there that is driving the robot around. And right now the robot is doing the magnetovore behavior. The vacuum cleaner has these magnetic strips that they sell with it, so that you can, if you have a place where you want the vacuum cleaner not to go, like in our house, it's the fireplace. The robot would just go right over the hearth and land in the ash pit, which wouldn't be too great. So anyway, so it has magnet sensors, and we have some software in there that's doing the magnetovore behavior. And there we go. Now Shiloh's got it up here, and you can tell about the rest of the software.
And we duct taped one of the magnet strips to a stick. That's what this is. And so this robot runs a subsumption architecture driver, and I think that's the right word, and the word that I want. And so subsumption architecture is made up of behaviors, and each behavior has a method that tells it when it needs to run, how to start running, how to continue running, and how to stop running. And this robot has, I think, 5 behaviors. It has a behavior just go forward, and it has a behavior to bump into the physical bump sensor, and it has a behavior
Being demonstrated now.
for the LiDAR bump sensor. That's the laser scanner. And it has a behavior for following the magnetic stick, and if you pick it up, it stops.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it to, I'll be a LiDAR target. Hopefully it will actually sense my legs and turn around before it, there we go. All right. Get away from this guy. All right, so now it physically bumped me. So anyway. What's that?
It's not going to see the...
That's right, it's not going to see my feet, it's only going to see my leg. Exactly. He would know. So anyway, oh, and there's one behavior you didn't tell about. Stop if we pick it up.
I said that.
Oh, did you? Okay.
It stops
I
if you
missed-
pick it up, and it makes a noise, and the LED turns red.
There's the red LED. And so I'll hold it up so you can see we have the little piece of laser cut acrylic with a beagle board on it, and all held in place with some duct tape. As Camp would say, duct tape is required for the
Purple duct tape.
Duct tape holds the universe together. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I think you're up next, Cam. Uh-oh. You've got a buddy, Shiloh. Oh, this is great.
All right. You got to go up and talk to the people, okay? Okay. Listen, everybody knows Springy. Everybody knows Springy. Springy's not just a robot, it's a member. I put lights on her, and I'll be demonstrating her at the Barbot event, April 1st, San Francisco. Springy's not just a radio control robot, she'll follow this infrared beacon. Springy's my Burning Man robot. She's survived 6 burns. The goal being to leave the event with a functioning robot. And we did manage to do that 5 times. But what she does is she comes for this 38 kilohertz Pringles can, and then she grabs it, and that's what she does. That's her chew toy. Anyways, the new thing, oopsie, the new thing is the lights, some of the, oopsie. Tough to navigate. Ah, there we go. All right, big hand for Springy. Thank you very much. Okay, next on the list, ladies and gentlemen, is a new robot for the Barbot competition. It's not a competition. It's a challenge. It's an event, I guess. Thinking out loud. Transmitter on first, robot on second. Simple things in life. One moment, please. So you may know Emilio, radio's on, from the 80s, one of those classic toy robots from the 80s. But I've supersized him with a nice base. You might recognize this. This is the same type of base that's on Springy and on Rusty. Oopsie. It's a little hard to control. But as you can see, he's just ready. He's got a serving tray. But eventually, you know, make him autonomous. He's a cute little robot, I think. So that's Super Emilio, folks. Oops. Okay, next, be prepared to be totally amazed. You may recall Homer the homebrewed humanoid, the dancing robot. Well, I've taught him to play the xylophone. So this will take a minute to set up, but it's totally worth it. Or your money back. How's the dude collection going there, Bill? All right. Hey, man. I'm still paying dues, man. What do you mean dues are paid? Okay.
Kind of like that.
Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Dun 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 dun.
How's it
You
going,
may
Rob?
remember
So.
Homer the homebrewed humanoid. He's been described as whimsical and disturbing. Let's see here. I need space. All right. Working without a net here.
Which side of the uncanny valley?
Yeah, it's creepy. You know, I won't go there. All right. Okay. Okay. Prepare to be entertained. Let's see here.
So cute. I'm looking at this.
Oh, there it goes. His eyes are, I need his eyes facing down. There you go. There you go. All right, you can applaud. Hang on a second. Let's get him a little more here. All right, all right. All right. And action. Wait a second. Line him up there, Wayne.
What?
Line him up there. He needs some help.
He needs a little help.
He needs a little help. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's great. Big hand for our club president, Wayne Graham. All right, let me just get one more shot here. I'm sorry. Let's get your face in here, Wayne. Oh, triggering. Here it comes. Here it comes. He's got to look around a little bit. He's got to see something when it's in front of him. There it goes. Okay. He's a security guard too. There he goes. Is my time up yet?
Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
Okay. Oh, I got one more thing. One more thing. Okay. Settle down. See, he's still raring good. That's the great thing about robots is they never want to stop. They just keep going and going. Okay. Now, we've had some fun lately at the SIG, the Special Interest Group. We're building what we call the Club Bot. And for those of you who subscribe to Servo Magazine, you may have read the Gordon McComb series. And we've actually gotten permission from Servo Magazine and Gordon McComb to reprint the series. So I passed out some to folks that are part of the ClubBot group. But we're going to start doing 2 per month meetings to build. Right, David Curtis?
I guess, yeah.
Starting next month. And so
Next month.
typically
is 2
the
days.
SIG, the Special Interest Group, meets at the tech shop the week before the general meeting. And so we're going to, 2 weeks before, have SIG meetings. We're concentrating on building these robots that are Arduino based. Oops, that's not the one. And using continuous rotation servos. And we're having some fun with shape lock, making skids and little adapters and things. Now, this is one that's had the infrared added. We want to build them towards a particular competition, specifically the tabletop challenge and Micro Mouse. This is one we built in 3 hours at the last SIG. 2 hours for putting it together, and then 1 hour for debugging. But this is the basic one. This is HBRC Bug 2, and it's just got the simple whisker switches. And let's see if we get some action going here. Oh, this one doesn't. This one doesn't have the drop sensors, so it could easily go for phase 4. Okay, and so those of you that picked up Article 1 through 5, I've got number 6. Those that are part of the ClubBot group. If you want to be part of it, let me know, and we can set you up. We're having a lot of fun with it. So, thank you very much.
How many people are in the ClubBot thing so far? I'm not.
What was it? Sorry?
ClubBot. How many people are participating in ClubBot right
Listen,
now?
we must have had a dozen people at the SIG, and making very smart remarks and some regard. But we had some fun.
This, I've been president for a while, and I'm always having new members saying, "Where do I start?" This is where you start. This is go. Okay. This is where you get going. It's an inexpensive robot. It's got its limitations, but it doesn't cost that much, and you learn a lot about how to start building these things, and you don't spend a lot of money making big mistakes. You make and
it's geared up for the June meeting.
Yeah.
June is going to be our 9th annual HBRC challenge, featuring the tabletop challenge. But the point is that this is a meeting where we just entertain ourselves. So do something, bring something, make something. Otherwise, you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Is there anybody else?
you're next.
I'm next. Okay, well, I can't get the robot to talk.
Okay. Well,
To the network.
it's a battery problem.
Definitely. So this is a static, very short static display. I'll show it off to people in the back. Last month you might have seen me, I demonstrated this with the Connect on the robot. Last month I still had it wired into the laptop, doing some basic functionality. Since then, and due to very generous from James at the back, man, lent me a Panda board all last month, so I was able to bring up the robot fully wirelessly with the Panda board and the Connect. And then my Panda board showed up last 2 weeks ago as well, so if you're in the market for a Panda board, they are flowing. I was on the waiting list for about a month. But it's a great little board, dual core 1 gigahertz ARM processor, runs off 5 volts, has Ubuntu running, Connect drivers all work on it nicely. So what I have is the Connect running here. I'm not yet running ROS on the actual Panda board. I just have my own code using the FreeNet driver, wirelessly transmitting to the laptop, and then everything on ROS is running on the laptop. What I've been able to get as far as I've got in ROS now is I've got the SLAM and the G mapping running, just starting to get the planning working. And this is a SLAM map that I created using G mapping with the robot driving around from my house.
That's your house?
That's my house.
Nice.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean the stuff in this sort of bottom right corner, there's a lot of furniture there, it couldn't get in. I'm obviously only with SLAM, it'll only map what it sees, so if you can't get a sort of good wide angle, it won't see that.
But as far as the little bit sticking out to the bottom left is sort of my office. The big blank area is just cupboards and tables and stuff that the robot can't get in. The square box in the middle is a built-in closet, and there's the sofa and that in the lounge there. So, and the back of the dining room, it didn't get around the back there, sort of thing on the top. But now using that, I can now use the Monte Carlo localization part. You can actually now drive it around the house, just simply watching it, following it on the map using ROS, and it will localize it against that map. Simply just using the single connect sensor. Unfortunately, maybe afterwards I'll be able to get the BIOS working. We'll be able to actually run it. For now, it's a static display. So.
Very good. New people here. ROS stands for Robot Operating System. It's done by Willow Garage. It's an open source robotics operating system. And SLAM stands for Simultaneous Localization and Mapping. It's the software that basically runs around creating a map of something by just sort of looking around. But we kind of do it automatically, but it's actually a pretty tough thing to do for a robot. So those are a couple acronyms that you haven't heard. I will mention that after our talk, which is coming up momentarily, we're going to have a very short discussion about the higher end processor that we might, whether or not there can be any collaboration on a 32-bit operating system platform. So that'll occur immediately after our main presentation here. So just, if you're not interested, please, you don't have to show up, but we just wanted to have that discussion. Okay. Is there anything else club related? Am I missing anything, Bill? Do we have to vote in any new members? Beats me. So, okay. So I'd like to